Hello and welcome to the Zoom plugin integration video. Zoom, which is a video and web conferencing platform that allows users to host online meetings and webinars, is a commonly used service across the world. The great thing about Zoom is that it can be easily integrated for use within your virtual Slate platform. It's important to mention that in order to integrate Zoom with your virtual Slate platform, you will require a business or Zoom Pro account to perform the integration process. The integration is done first on the Zoom side, and then within Moodle via the Zoom Meeting Activity Module plugin. Let's first begin on the Zoom side, as we will be integrating a new OAuth app integration for use between Zoom and Moodle. Begin by logging into your Zoom account and navigate to the Advanced, App Marketplace, Develop. Select the Build App option and choose the Server-to-Server OAuth app type. Begin by providing a name for the app and proceed by clicking the Create button. On the following page, add the app information such as the app name, short description, company name, and developer contact information. You can toggle whether you'd like to enable event subscriptions on the feature page, and if enabled, choose the event subscriptions you would like to use. You can refer to Zoom's guide on webhooks for more details. If you have any role permissions to add scopes, go ahead and add any scopes that you would like to enable via the Scopes page. You can choose to use the Add Scopes search bar / button to add scopes. At a minimum, the following scopes are required by this plugin: view a meeting, create a meeting for a user, and read user details. Once the OAuth app has been set up, be sure to copy the account ID, client ID, and client secret values on the app credentials page. These values will be needed in a later configuration step. On the activation page, go ahead and click the Activate Your App button to finalize your changes. If you do not obtain the green checkbox, please refer to the Zoom documentation or contact your Zoom account manager for further assistance. It is recommended that you start the process from the beginning if this checkbox isn't obtained. This step is critical in ensuring that the configuration process is completed on the Moodle side. Now that the app has been configured on the Zoom end, let's switch over to our virtual Slate platform to perform the second half of the configuration process. Navigate to the Site Administration menu, click the Plugins tab, and scroll down to find the Activity Modules section. Here, locate and click the Zoom meeting link to access the settings page. Provide the Zoom account ID, Zoom client ID, and Zoom client secret that you copied earlier from your Zoom app page. Afterwards, click the Save Changes button and you should now see a connection working status message if the setup was configured correctly. If you continue to encounter any issues with the configuration, please be sure to refer back to your Zoom portal to ensure that the app has been activated correctly. If you continue to encounter any issues, please be sure to contact the Zoom support team for further assistance. It is important to mention that the Zoom plugin is a community-based plugin, as it's not supported by the Lingao Learning support team. Also on this page, you will find other default settings that you can use to configure the Zoom Meeting Activity plugin for use across the site. You have the option to set the global settings to define when users can join meetings, whether to display the passcode or not to users, or even if you wish to mask participant data. Feel free to configure these settings to your preference. You can also configure the default Zoom settings that will be pre-selected for newly created Zoom meetings in Moodle courses. Let's go into a test course and add a Zoom meeting activity. Begin by providing a name for the Zoom activity and an optional description which you can choose to display on the course page. In the Schedule section, provide a date and time for the Zoom meeting schedule and duration. You can choose to make this a recurring meeting by checking the Recurring Meeting checkbox. If enabled, you can set the recurrence period and how often to repeat the meeting schedule. You can choose to provide an end date or stop the recurrence after a certain number of occurrences. You have the option to set the Zoom meeting as a webinar option, which grants hosts with an enhanced control and flexibility options for hosting meetings with larger audiences. This option is only available to pre-authorized Zoom accounts within your Zoom organization. The Show Schedule section checkbox setting determines whether the schedule section will be displayed on the meeting page or not. If disabled, then the schedule section will be omitted on the meeting page. The Require Registration setting determines whether participants will be forced to register for the Zoom meeting webinar before joining. If set to No, then participants will not be required to register. In the Breakout Rooms section, you can add breakout rooms via the plus icon. Provide a room name and select the participants you wish to assign to the breakout room via the drop-down selector. You can also assign course participant groups to perform bulk assignments. In the Security section, you can set the security settings associated with the meeting, such as whether the meeting requires a passcode or not for entry. If the passcode is required, then participants who enter the meeting room within the Moodle activity will not be required to input this password. In this section, you can also set the meeting passcode, enable or disable the waiting room, allow participants to join at any time, or whether you wish to require authentication to join, which requires authorized Zoom accounts to be able to join the meeting, and whether or not you wish to display the security section on the meeting page. In the Media section, you can define whether or not you wish to enable the host and participants' videos when joining the meeting. Even if this option is set to off, these users will still have the option to start their video at any time throughout the meeting. The audio options allow you to determine how users can call the meeting. You can choose to telephone only, computer audio, or both of these options. Via the audio default checkbox, if enabled, you can automatically mute all participants when they join the meeting. Participants can unmute themselves after joining the meeting. Using the automatic recording option, you can choose to automatically record the Zoom meeting. You can set this option to local or cloud if your Zoom account supports it. The Show Media section checkbox, if enabled, will display the media section information on the meeting activity page. In the Host section, you can designate other Zoom users to start the meeting on your behalf. Classified as alternative hosts, these users will receive an email notification from Zoom informing them that they have been added to this meeting as an alternative host. They will also have a link to start the meeting. To provide multiple alternative hosts, please separate the email addresses of these users with a comma without any spaces. Now with the activity created, from the admin perspective, you will notice that on the Zoom activity meeting page, you will see a Start Meeting button, and the meeting schedule, security, and media information if displayed. You can choose to download the iCal attachment to export this meeting to an external calendar service. It's important to mention that if a Zoom meeting has been deleted or canceled on the Moodle side, it will still have to be manually deleted from the user's calendar as this is not updated automatically. Via the All Meetings link at the bottom, you can find all the meetings associated with this Zoom activity. If multiple Zoom activities exist within the course, then they will be listed in the table here with their topic name, activity name, and their start time and duration. Back on the activity page, you can view the participants for each individual recurring session with the student's name, join and leave time, displayed in addition to their session duration. From the student's perspective, the Zoom meeting page will display similar to the admin perspective. Thank you for watching the Zoom Virtual Slate integration video. We hope that you now have a more comfortable understanding of the integration process.